And this father, old man, is walking through the yard, and his son, dressed up as a Turk, rides in through the gate. Old man just ran, scared, like he saw the devil himself. And the son is chasing him. He yells, "Stop! I am your son!" And old man just lost his wits. He died soon after that. That's how scared he was.
Look.
Jesus, Mary! It's him! The infamous! The bandit!
There are just two of them. There's a reward.
Hey everybody, this is
All
Vazaroff.
right. You
Welcome
have your
to
pistol?
Hellish Quart. This game just came out today in early access.
You're coming
It's
with
a
us.
sword fighting
Or we
game
can
based
shoot you
on
right
historical
here. No
European
difference
martial
to me.
arts. I've been playing a little bit. It's very cool.
You must have mistaken me for someone
I
else.
am a pretty big fan of HEMA, historical European martial arts, for some examples. And I'm no expert, by the way, but I'll be talking about what I do know. I'm no practitioner or anything. There's some other YouTube channels that are better and that kind of thing. But I really wanted to show this game off. It's pretty awesome, and I'm having a good time with it. So let's go to the main screen here. Okay, so I wanted to look. So we have plenty of updates. Like I said, this game's in early access, so it is being actively worked on. So I'm going to go ahead and just jump into some matches here. So just to sort of briefly explain. So there's not a lot of modes that they're obviously working on some of this stuff, but right now survival's kind of like the main single player mode, and then we've got just individual matches versus CPUs, and it actually does support Steam's remote play, so you could actually play with another person online, simulating them at your computer. So some cool options. I'm going to go ahead and start with some of this versus CPU stuff. So these are the characters. So right now there are 5 playables. So we've got basically 3 right now. It looks like they put most of their work into the saber fighting engine. So we've got 3 Gideon, Jessic, I think, and Barbeses. I don't know. It's Polish or something, I'm pretty sure. Obviously, I don't know how to pronounce Polish names. But there's actually a really cool like historical fiction work that goes along with this, it sounds like. And then we've also got a rapier user and a longsword user. I believe Isabella is using like traditional German longsword techniques, but I'm actually not certain. And it looks like they have another, possibly a rapier. I'm not sure if that's a basket hilt rapier or if that's like a short sword, small sword, I should say, or something like an estoc, I don't know. And then over here, we've got another, looks like a different type of saber user. I'm not sure if this is going to be like Turkish saber or something, but looks pretty cool. And then there's some other planned characters, and actually you can't even scroll all the way over there. So I'm curious what else is. Here we go. There you can see it just peeking in on the horizon over there. So they have a lot of cool features planned. Let's just go ahead and jump right in. I'm going to start as Mr. Ryu over here, fighting the Bandit King. So I'm going to put him on passive AI just to demonstrate a couple things. Okay, so what I've done is I've enabled sort of like the PvP style combat here. So it's kind of like a practice mode. Like I can move around. I'm using a controller, by the way. You'll probably hear it over time, but definitely best with a controller. Right now, I believe it's only on and planned for PC, but who knows? Maybe a console release in the future. Okay, so here I am. Basically the way the game works, it's pretty high fidelity actually. So it's based on like realistic movements. Motion cap is a lot of this. I'm actually, by the way, using a controller. You'll probably hear it. So it's basically 4 attack buttons, the 4 face buttons. So like X, Y, A, and B. Yeah, I think A and B, I think those are the same move right now. But so if I hold back in A and then different options here, there will be different maneuvers. So the way I understand it is it's kind of like the old Assassin's Creed system where each button sort of more or less maps to a direction, or like a direction that you're going to take a swing. So X is sort of, it seems like that's the standard sort of like left to right swing. I don't know the numbers for these in Saber Combat, but I know there's like different cuts. This one is more like an overhead right to left swing, and that's Y on top of the controller. X and B looks like they do basically the same swing. Okay, there we go, actually. So A at the bottom of the controller is again like a left to upper right swing, and then if you look, it's actually the other direction. So if you've played Soul Calibur, you might know of a system a little bit like this. This is obviously like Soul Calibur on steroids. As you can see there, there's physics, So he will block automatically. This is just a practice mode. I turned on like a second player, so he's just going to stand there. But so you can see I did stab him. I did draw some blood. And this game, like Bushido Blade, that's a comparison a lot of people make for it. This game, you can't really take much punishment. So let's see if I can get another hit in on his guard here. Okay, so that was basically 2 hits and he's done. But if I would have gotten 1 good hit, he easily could go down in 1 shot. So let's see how much I can kill this auto-defending target. Let's see. Okay, so that was kind of a demonstration of how basically when you're just at your neutral stance, so when you're just not moving or honestly, even if you are moving is what it seems like, but when you're just in your neutral stance, you are sort of always guarding. So you can see he's this is nobody's controlling this player. He's automatically adapting to this. So if he attacked me back, I would be auto guarding as well. There's also a different stance button. So it's a, I think they call it like long stance, but basically it's for engaging opponents a little bit farther away. I believe in like saber combat, this is traditionally called like a middle guard. It looks like a little bit of a back. I don't know. I'm not an expert. I should stop trying. But basically, that was my 4 moves right there. But when I'm like this, I can do like a trick shot move. You can hear that we're actually our swords are actually simulating physics on each other here. So you can see that basically what happens is it's all physics based and your moves are pre-scripted. You're not just like doing something like Tori Bash where you're just custom animating as you go, but the animations can easily get interrupted at any step in the process. Let's go ahead and let's show off a different weapon. I think the longsword is always a flashy one. Everybody likes longsword. It's a crowd pleaser. And then for second player, let's make it this guy. Okay, so one thing that is very cool is while saber is the most fleshed out for sure, they have longsword and rapier, and they play very differently. Not a lot of games really respect the difference between weapons here. One thing, just side note, this is my long guard stance. This is my regular stance. One thing is there's no thrusts, like thrust damage on swords unless you actually take a swing. I think that's actually a parry, but there we go. That's one thing I've noticed. But as you can see, that was a perfect example. That was just a fairly simple thrust. But since I was so close to him, so this is what it normally looks like. But if I'm this close to him, it can change quite a bit. So your actual blade placement determines where the damage and hitboxes are. Your opponent's blocking techniques change the way that the physics interact. Let's see if I can get a good hit on him here. There's by the way, there is a stamina system. It's not like a bar. You can't just... Oh, there we go. We got him. So there is a stamina system. P.S. I'm not the best at this game. It just came out. I'm trying to work on it. But I think that's enough of a demo, right? Let's see me actually try to like kill some people, right? I mean, that is basically what sword fighting is all about. So let's go into survival. So as it said there, I'll just summarize it. But in survival, surviving, as you might not be surprised to learn, is more important than necessarily winning at any cost. So I actually really like to play as this guy. Again, Polish names, I'm not sure, but here we go. This is a real opponent, by the way. So let's see. Oof. So that I actually haven't seen very many physics glitches like that, by the way. But that was a hand hit. So at the top of the screen there, you see that the opponent has 1 red flag. Ooh, we got a double kill. So actually, perfect example. So he keeps his red flag. He scored 1 hit on me, basically. But since we double killed each other, that doesn't count as a actual win. There we go. There's another one. So this is something that is just so cool, dude. HEMA is all about this. What's the point of killing the enemy if you can't survive and fight another one yourself? So again, these double kills happen way more often than you might expect based if you're if you're familiar with sword fighting from like movies and stuff. This is a big problem. Oh, that was a straight up groin attack. I could have gotten a kill there. By the way, this is supposed to be pretty easy. So I've gotten better at this earlier, but of course now I'm recording, and everyone knows once you're recording, you suck at games. That's just the rule of the internet. So let's try again. Let's see if I can really show you some things I've learned here. So there's one particular move. That one. That is the most utilitarian swing, but that'll be, I feel like, most of your kills with a saber. So there's one just simple overhand sort of basic swing. Let's go. Oof. And you can strike for the legs. Nope. All right, so this is the deal with sword fighting, is it can quickly turn in your favor or go the other way. So come on. Ugh. All right, so obviously my survival record's not showing very well here. So my current record is 9. What I'm really hoping is I can get to 10. That's kind of my goal for the recording session here. So let's see if I can break my record. So first I have to get a win. So let's go. Fighting a rapier is interesting because they have more of a reach. There we go. They have more of a reach, but they are more linear. So that was my exact thought as I got that strike on her head there. So if you can beat their weapons, and that affects their stamina. So I mentioned there was a stamina system earlier. Basically, the stamina system, what it seems to me, is it primarily affects the sort of the strength and the fortitude of your block. So let me see if I can demo it real quick. So if I let her hit me with that long sword a little bit, my block likely will, if she'll actually do it, will slowly lower as I'm running out of stamina. The thing with fighting a longsword to keep in mind, or if you're using a longsword, is that stamina for yourself is very important. So actually, I think part of the reason I got through that guard that she just had is her guard was lowered a little bit. All right, let's go. Come on. So when you're fighting a longsword, it pays to be a little bit aggressive, but if you... Ooh! Does that count? Yeah, okay, so even though she got me, at least I took her out too. So when you get a double kill like that, it's like a tie. So if you think you're gonna lose, you might as well try to go for one of those. Okay, so I got a stab, and I believe that will... Ooh, okay, we're both injured here. All right, there we go. So that was a risky one. Okay, so the deal with survival, by the way, is if you lose twice, you're out if you die twice. But once you get up to, like, I think rank 6 or 7, you... Okay, I got a nick. Cool. Once you get up to like rank 6 or 7, you only get 1 death per battle, and you have to beat your opponent twice. What happened there, by the way... Oh, hold on. Come on. Ooh. That was an interesting one. I want to watch the replay on that. I think his block moved my sword to be a killing blow, and it would have been a nick otherwise. Okay, here we go. It's a mirror match. Yeah, man, this game is going to be so cool if they put in the effort to add more weapons and martial art styles. Ooh, okay. Okay, come on, come on. I think I'm going to go... Oh, you can try to knock their blade or their weapon away. It's... Oh, come on. Ooh, he got me. Okay, so he never landed any particularly good hits, but he got like 3 scrapes and glancing blows on me, so eventually it just adds up. All right. I think usually about 3... Oh, I gotcha. Is where it starts to get a little hard. Ooh, that was a good tangle. So if you are someone that is primarily used to sword fighting in movies, oh, come on. You might notice there's not a lot of binds, which is where the 2 blades really just like sit there and like clash up against each other. Instead, you see a lot of, I really like this guy. Let's go again. Instead, you see a lot of like kind of tangles of blades like that one. And I love so much just the visual representation of that in this game, and the fact that it affects the mechanics and everything. It's So good. Okay, I was gonna say, come on, that was a tendon slice. He can't hold a blade, so I disabled him there. But anyway, yeah. So you'll notice that we don't like bind a lot. One thing, the developer who's very active on like YouTube and has been really helpful in discussing various topics and plans. Sorry, this guy's kind of hard now. Let's go. Come on. There we go. Okay, so one thing that they've said is that they're working on a grappling and binding system right now. Sorry, I don't know if it's binding actually, but a grappling system. And again, if you're into HEMA, you'll know based on what I'm saying here that like, oh come on, grappling and like the martial arts side of martial arts, of historical European martial arts, is like a big component that we don't see a lot of representation about. I got him. Okay, I thought he might have given me a kill, but he just nicked me. We don't see a lot of representation of that, and that's a very real component of an actual sword fight. That was about the closest you'll see to a bind. So one thing with the long guard here is you can really use that to just tangle your opponent up with saber fighting, at least. It's not a very... Okay, my stamina's gone. Okay, so if you back off from it, your stamina will like recharge. So he's kind of wasting his self here. There we go. So I actually managed to do a 2-hit combo. Oh, he got me back. I didn't even notice. He got me enough, so that's a tie. All right, come on, I'm gonna try to go for my, but the typical 3-hit combo here. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, he barely blocked it. Let's go long guard. Oh, come on, long guard. All right. I really got to try to polish my skills up while I'm trying to think about what I'm going to say. Let's play as the Bandit King here, or whatever he is. So, my understanding is him and the other dude, Bilbabeck, or whatever his name was. Here we go. They fight the same, I think. So I noticed, I'll show you when this loads. So I noticed that it says right there, this is a placeholder, a proper move list is coming soon. So Jacek here, he is the character I'm playing right now. So let's try and go for like a belly lunge. Let's see how that works out. That was the belly lunge there. Come on. Okay, so his stamina dropped super low. If you saw, his guard was very low. That was a super messy fight. Did not need to be that messy. But I was trying to just keep the pressure on and see how that would work with breaking his guard. I love this match, by the way, this arena. So, come on. Something about fighting a longsword in this gallows match just reminds me even more than normal of Soul Calibur. And just for reference, I'm a huge Soul Calibur fan, or I kind of was. I don't know if this is controversial. I don't think it really is, because Soul Calibur is not one of the like main fighting games these days. But it's really just like a series that's kind of gone downhill since like Soul Calibur 2 and a little bit in 3. I played 4. I played 5. They're fine. I think they're. Ooh, come on. There we go. Okay. So there are grabs in this game. Speaking of Soul Calibur, I know that's a popular one for Soul Calibur. Ooh, man, she is just getting it right in the head today. Jeez. Okay. Well, so did I, though. Or in the stomach. The thing I found with fighting against Rapier, especially with Saber, is it's very hard to get those killing blows without there we go, without just sort of letting that rapier just kind of like slip into your sternum. It's just like something about fighting. I think the rapier is the closest we have to like a reach weapon right now. I mean, obviously both of these non-saber weapons have pretty good reach. Oh, come on. But while the German longsword, or while the longsword is pretty good at overpowering and hitting sort of around your defenses. The rapier is really good at just slipping a little thrust in there that you just would never have any real defense for. So what happens a lot is while you're sort of flipping your saber around, a lot of times that rapier just gets tangled up in there, and then you take your swing, and then she takes her thrust, and then it just pretty much, like I said, ties all the time. So now one thing that we haven't really seen much of is this guy, this old dude. He also uses saber, obviously. Polish saber of some kind. I think it's mostly... Hold on. Okay, we're getting up to round 4. Where I noticed they actually start to get like legitimately somewhat hard around round 3. I think easy AI for the first 3, and then they go into medium. Oh. My guard was down because I tried to follow up with a combo attack. I shouldn't have done that. So anyway, around round 3 is when they get difficult, but let's see. Whew. This is a pretty... Ooh! That was a good one. I wasn't sure if he got me on a tendon swing there, but I got a stab right in the face. Alright, so now this is round 5. So anyway, that last guy has a different stance. And I think my understanding... Oh, throat slice. My understanding is that while his moves seem to be the same for a lot of it, he might have a few special moves. Unique moves, I should say. Ooh. But the fact that he's got that different stance means that they kind of end up looking different, and the path of the blade and actually follows a different path. Sorry, I'm getting into the difficult modes now. It's going to be hard to concentrate. Okay, come on. Oh, come on. Okay, so that's it. I'm done. So I told you earlier that when you get high enough in the ranks, if you see on the top right there, you only get one chance to live. It is survival after all. Let's go ahead and play with Gedeon so I can illustrate what I'm trying to get out here. So one thing I've noticed with him is he holds his saber in a different stance for the most part. So you can see he's got... come on. He's got a more sort of tight stance, I would call it. Unfortunately... Ooh, did it get me? Not enough. So unfortunately, I don't know enough historical context, but I would love to. I'm planning on doing some research after this at some point. Ooh, there we go. On what the difference in these stances are. So I watched a few videos, and I have in the past, on military saber, and that looks like more or less what the bandit is doing, and then the Ryu of the game. Ooh, that was a double kill. What Gideon is doing here looks a bit different. He actually almost looks like a lot of like scimitar fighting I've seen, so I'm not sure if that's part of it, or what I theorize is he might have a more like Russian style, but again, I might be overthinking it. Another thing that's... Ooh. Come on. Oh, come on. Whew, there we go. That was one of the first times on this recording that I've actually managed to use the shove mechanic correctly there. So one thing I've noticed with him is he is a lot more... How do I put this? Like swing and power focused. Like he tends to transition between stances as he's going. I think they all, to some degree, do that. But it seems like he's just kind of following like a different pattern, like a different training manual or something. So if anybody knows, by all means, please let me know in the comments. But it's definitely a shared... There we go. Lineage, because the strikes are very similar. But again, the stances are different, and so the path that your attacking paths are a little bit different. Whew, there we go. So there's something that guy just did, that AI, that I don't really do too much, but I should really get into the habit of, which is feinting. So I'll try to show you real quick since I still have some wiggle room. So you can start an attack and press back and feint out of it. Ooh, there we go. Had to do that follow-up hit, or else it wouldn't have been enough. So this game is so deep, you guys. Like I told you I've been playing, and ooh, he got me. I've been playing for a while, and I'm starting to gain some skills and understanding of the system, but it could be really deep. I don't know how much this is gonna really like. Ooh. Come on. I don't know how much we got that charged upper hand. There we go. I don't know how much like the fighting game community, quote unquote, is gonna attach themselves to this. Although I think there's a certain type of person. I'm full disclosure, I'm one of them, who really likes in their fighting games a systematic approach. Ooh, nice. Oh, is he gonna fall? Nope, no ring out here. So the thing about this game is you can kind of learn the way the system works. You don't have to learn... Ooh, I got your finger. You don't have to learn exactly every specific combo. Like, for instance, I've won plenty of games of this, matches of this, in one button press. I showed you one of those matches just there. Ooh. We're both injured here. Ooh, that was barely a cut. So anyway, you can kind of learn the system. So what I'm doing when I'm playing is I'm playing sort of from an intuitive level. I'm not, as I just get eviscerated, obviously. I'm not necessarily trying to like learn a ton of specific moves. It's more about learning sort of what buttons make my hands move, or my character's hands move in different directions as I'm playing. I'm going to take Gideon out one more time. I've had decent success with him. So like I said, when you... Oh, there we go. When you focus on the top half of the controller buttons, you do these upper swings. And it's more important to just try to get your blade... Even with what I was planning on saying, I think that's not necessarily true. So I was going to say it's more important to get your blade where the enemy is than it is to pull off some complicated technique. And that is true, but when it comes to any kind of HEMA or like real life historical sword fencing, sword fighting of any kind, fencing of any kind, ooh, yeah, there we go. That's a perfect example. I was about to say a good offense is not always the best defense. You really have to have a mixture of both, because otherwise, sure, you might kill that man, but he is going to kill you back just like that. There's about a second or so where if you have a swing in motion or you quickly are getting one out and they've killed you, where you can still get your hit on them. Because obviously, what's the thing that all the HEMA YouTubers like to say? You know, a sword is not a lightsaber, pretty much. You know, it's not going to just... You're not just going to hit someone... Ooh, that was that left me way open. You're not just going to hit someone and then they're just going to vaporize, or they're not just... The arm's not going to fly off and you don't just have a kill the second that you touch someone with the edge of your blade. You know, a human being runs on blood until that blood is out or they're physically incapacitated. They are still a threat to you. I'm going to go ahead and play with the rapier a little bit. So that happens a lot in competitions. You'll see that on HEMA. If you Google HEMA on YouTube, you'll see a lot of people, judges will mark 2 kill hits, and that's not a faux pas. That's not really the right word, but it's generally like, it's kind of a marker of skill that you can get a hit on your opponent or a kill on your opponent without... Ooh, that was a huge misstep on my part. Without getting taken out yourself. So like I said, there's the best offense still needs a little bit of defense. So I'm going to keep going with rapier until I can get to like round 5. Rapier is pretty difficult, but rapier, by the way, rapier's secondary stance is actually a little bit of a closer stance. Their default stance is a little bit more loose and out. Ooh, ooh. There we go. One thing I've noticed a lot with rapiers, if you get a little puncture, a lot of times that's not going to be enough to take them down. Come on. Ooh, there we go. There we go. But if you get that second little stab, that's usually enough to get them out of there. So rapier I find to be pretty decisive. I was about to say rapier versus rapier has been very fun and interesting, and honestly, there's really no game that I've played that captures this feeling. one of the reviews I had saw, and I was thinking this already myself, mentions that this is a little bit Nidhogg like, and I don't disagree. This is like the most complicated version of Nidhogg that like exists and probably will ever exist. Nidhogg is a similar thing. It's a 2D fencing game if you're unfamiliar, but the point. Come on. I stabbed you like 4 times. There we go. The point of Nidhogg is that it's very simple, but it's mostly like rapier fighting. So this one is. There we go. Actually, speaking of Nidhogg, that's a move you'll see a lot. It's just the stepping forward thrust right into the heart. Okay, so we're getting pretty good here. We're going pretty far with rapier. I've found Gideon here is actually kind of weak to rapier. I don't know if that's the case or just the way the AI does it, but I found that his sort of like... Ooh, come on. Ooh, that's a double kill. His stance seems like I can poke at him a little bit better. I can actually get some blood drawn. That's actually a perfect example right there. And let's see. There we go. And where I find that the regular sort of standard military saber technique users, the 2 main guys, are a little bit harder with rapier. Here we go. Let's see. Cool. Got him. Okay. So yeah, with rapier, it's very much about taking your hits where you can and then just keeping yourself defended. Because what I've noticed, nice, if a saber user really gets motivated, they can just kind of blitz you down. I imagine that would be, ooh, I imagine that would be a pretty common like human technique that you'd see. So let's see. I'm at 6, so now here's where it becomes high stakes. Whew, come on. Nice. I also find with rapier, if you have a pretty good understanding of where your blade is going to be based on what button you're pressing, you can really do some amazing things with rapier if you see that opening and you get in there. Oh, come on. And also with rapier, I see there's a lot of... I don't know if it's accurate to call them drag cuts, but they look like drag cuts. I'm going to go ahead and play as Isabel because you actually see a lot of these, what I'm calling drag cuts as well. So if you don't know, drag cut is basically where your blade gets pressed up against someone and then you sort of like just drag it, usually backwards, sometimes forwards. Come on. Come on, guy. What's your name? I forget. Okay. One thing that's not frustrating, but something that's actually extremely interesting about this game is like, especially if you're watching and you haven't played it, you might be thinking like, when you're getting close to them, why don't you just like press a button and swing your sword and kill them, right? Like it looks like we're both. Ooh. Come on. There we go. That was actually an example of one of those like drag thrusts I was trying to talk about. So obviously I did my thrust technique, but it kind of always looks like the hitbox includes the first, I'd say like third of the blade when you do one of those, which I think is very accurate compared to... Oh, how did you live? Oh, come on. You guys saw that. Anyway, so drag cutting is something you don't see a lot in like video games and movie fights and things, but it's definitely, it's not the most ideal way to get a kill. But it's just, any way to get a kill is ideal if it ends the battle, right? So I find that the longsword is really good at its hybrid cutting and thrusting. The saber is also, there's a lot of thrusting with saber that, based on the HEMA videos I've watched, you don't see a lot of that in fictional battles, and it's one of the most, well, again, I'm no expert, so don't take anything I'm saying as gospel, but it's one of the most... hold on, this is hard. Oh, that's it. Anyway, sorry, saber is used for thrusts way more than like most people think. In most video games like Mountain Blade and stuff like that, saber is thought of as primarily like a swinging weapon. It's a lot of times it's thought of as a cavalry weapon. History Channel and all those things that go over medieval weapons like to talk about how it was a cavalryman's sword, and they're not wrong. Come on, there we go. That was just the longsword's length that allowed me to get that kill in. So they're not wrong. Obviously, that is why. Oh, that is why it's a cavalryman's weapon, is because it is good for dragging and for cutting. Ooh, aggression. But it's also really good for thrusting, like better than a lot of people think. And it's also, the interesting thing about saber is it's really amazing for both thrusting and chopping. I can't obviously demonstrate it because I'm not using saber right now. Oh, come on. That was a weird one. But chopping is something that is very also underrated, and not, nerds talking about sword fighting online don't talk about these kind of moves very often. The HEMA movement, the reason why I am sort of, right in the head, interested in it is there's a lot of real life sword fighting techniques that we just see so little representation of in fictional media. One media that's a little bit different is Game of Thrones, but even they're not immune. I really recommend Scala Gladiatoria's. Come on. Ooh, nice. Videos on analyzing sword fights. Those are really great. I know like the Tower of Joy battle was surprisingly good, although of course the choreography is always in question. Oh, come on. Oh. So in that case, I know what happened there. I thought I was going to bat her weapon away, but I accidentally did a low swipe. Let's stand. Okay, that was an intense one. We were both bloody by the end. So on that one, I was really trying to rely on my weapon's superior weight to push her around a little bit. And the challenge... Ooh, that was a good, clean shot. What the rapier's trying to do in those situations is kind of just let me stumble into a kill on myself. I'm finding one of the things that's a little bit difficult to talk about these weapons here is... Ooh, come on. Ooh, did you see that hand? I think that was my hand, actually. Oh, man, yeah, when this gets intense, it's so hard to keep my mind focused on the video. There we go. Because here's the thing, if you have a lapse of concentration, you might have an opening that you're not responding to. One thing that I love about this game, by the way, is it really simplifies defense, and that's really key, I think, for like a HEMA video game. Oh, come on. There we go. Same move twice. So one thing I think that they really succeeded at here at making it approachable and like a fun as a game. Ooh, come on. He got me, I didn't even notice. Is making the defense approachable. So, like I said, there is no block button. I'll just let him get it. Oh, you gotta feint me, huh? Come on. Let's probe you a little bit. You wanna thrust? So I've got the superior range, but he's actually staying just outside that range. Come on. Ooh. Ooh, did I get him or did he get me? Oh, we got each other. Whew, that was a good one. That was a really good fight. This is like some Samurai Showdown style at this point. All right, come on. Ooh, got him in the leg, barely. That was a fun one. That was a really fun fight. I do find, so my skill level, I would say, is right around like when I get to fight 3 or 4. That's usually where I start to run into some problems. I think I can take this guy. Ooh, that was, honestly, I'm not going to take credit for that because I didn't fully do it on purpose, but that was a perfect slice. If you noticed, I blocked his blow there. There we go. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's unbalanced or anything, but I definitely find it easier to take that guy down with his kind of weird stance than it is this more blade first stance of most of the sabers. Come on. So at this point, if I die, that's it. I'm on 6. Ooh. Okay, cool. But I gotta take him out twice. He's only got to get me once. All right, let's see. I'm gonna threaten him with a long guard a little bit. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Okay, no more long guard. No more long guard. Oh, he got me. Damn. All right, I'm gonna try to see if I can break this video record. I think 6 is the highest I've gotten, but I'm gonna try with my sort of Ryu character here. Polish Ryu. He's sort of the default guy. I think he was like the first one they might have added to the game along with this other dude, this bandit guy. There we go. That was a clean shot. And I find that the sort of like learning the game is really helpful with these saber fighters. They're sort of the karate of HEMA, I guess, when you're talking about fighting games, because they're just sort of like they're basic, but they're powerful. I gotta watch out for this long sword. Come on. There we go. Yeah, she was only what is it, like level 2 AI. She was not really that aggressive. I think she could have easily gotten me a couple of those times. I was leaving myself open. Ooh, there we go. There's a saber thrust I was talking about. There's one really nice move. Let's see if I can try to utilize it here. When you're in a long guard, if you press X, ooh, you can really, ooh, that was a good one, tangle them up with that move. So that's a pretty advanced technique. There goes his hand. Not in the game. It's very easy to do. And again, another thing, just by the way, this game's awesome. P.S. Another thing that's great about this game, it's so genius, is it's so like easy to pick up and just feel like a badass. When there's no risk to yourself, sword fighting is really fun compared to like martial arts, because as that guy just demonstrated against me, it can all be over in one quick slice. It's very dramatic. Let's go. Come on. So there we go. Yeah, and then sometimes there's a lot of back and forth like that. Sometimes there's a lot of like footsies going on. Let's see. I think I can. Oh, okay. Well, there goes that one. Let's go. I'm going to do one more, maybe 1 or 2 more. I'm going to see how far I can get. I'd like to really get past like 6, but let's go with the Bandit King guy over here from the cinematic. So I'm going to see. I think he fights exactly the same. I felt like that was pretty pathetic. Exactly the same as the other guy, Ryu character here. So one thing I like to do is try to beat those rapiers at their own game with thrusts. I've noticed that works pretty good because they have and I assume this is why based on the physics of the game that I observe, but come on. Ooh. Foot. There we go. Rapiers have oh no, he got me back. I didn't even see. Rapiers are very, I don't know how else to say it. They're slidey. They're a straight sword, so your blade can, there you go, can really get through the defenses pretty like randomly when it slides on it. Again, the thing I love about this game, and it hopefully is pretty obvious just from watching, but from playing it, it's very obvious. Ooh, ooh. Come on. Ooh, come on, I've hit him twice. There we go. One thing from playing is that you'll notice that you'll have in mind what you want to do. You'll press the button, your character will begin to pull it off. But hold on. Oh, come on, we got each other there. Come on, I think I'm gonna go for his foot. Ooh, I think we got each other, yep. Anyway, what you'll find when you play it is that you have a plan of what you're going to do, but then, no plan survives contact with the enemy, right? So, literally, as soon as your blade touches someone else, what you were planning to do is off the table. You might, at that point, you're in reaction mode. And, that was a weird one. You see that foot, by the way? All right, so like I said, my skill level seems to be right at about level 3, level 4. So let's see how much better this gets. I'm not sure if they have like gradated levels, graduated levels of difficulty, but it definitely seems like they switch them over to a higher difficulty right around this point. When you're in CPU mode, there's like 3 difficulties, so I assume. Oh, come on. For now, that's how it works. All right, I need a better plan. I need to focus because otherwise I'm about to get taken out. So when it comes to longsword versus saber, I tend to like to keep my distance, kind of like they were doing to me. And then I found going for low blows is fairly effective. She's limping. So I did get her in the foot, and I've been injured like that before. And in the game, obviously. And, ooh, that's a double blow. And it really affects your movement. You can't dodge. You can't really jump forward like I can normally. So I think I'm going to see if I can end this decisively. Yep, there we go. Right in the face. So here's the thing. I haven't played this multiplayer. I plan to try to attempt that play with a friend mode at some point on Steam. But I imagine if you're into mind games, you're going to like this game. That's kind of how like HEMA and real life combat, melee combat really is, one-on-one dueling like this. It's all mind games. If you see that guy, so right there I did that low swing. He moved his foot away. So that actually, I believe, is not automatic. The AI doesn't seem to do that technique. There we go, like that. She moves her foot away. Ooh. So they don't actually pull that move on me that often, so I'm not very practiced at dodging it, but that does require backwards input. Basically, so I've... Come on. Come on. Ooh, this is a close one. Whew, I got her with that combo. Okay, so there are a few combos that I've picked up from the pause menu. I'll show you real quick. I do here. So one that I really like is what is it? 1-2-1. So it's back and what is it? Y button, X, and then Y button again. Let's see if I can pull that off. Nope. I tried too hard and then lost my record. All right, so I think that's pretty much it. I'm going to go ahead and close out with one more, I think. Let's go ahead and do Rapier. I have a feeling I'm not going to be successful with this, but I just wanted to close and say thanks for watching. If you're interested in seeing more of this content, I'll more than happily do tons of survival runs with this. This is the type of game that it's, when it's physics-based and it's kind of like, there's a specific type of game design where you can figure it out as you play, not just in fighting games, with all games. And that's by far my favorite kind of game. If you're into Union stuff, and I think INTPs are pretty well suited for doing that with SI and NE. I find just learning by messing around is like some of the most fun I ever have with any game. Come on. Oh, God. Ooh, I didn't think that would work. One thing I neglected to mention is that there's a whole secondary attack system for when you're in very, very close range. That's when you keep seeing the punches. Oh, come on. And the kicks. So yeah, there we go. That's it. So yeah, I would love to do some more content on this. Let me know if you guys are interested. yeah, this is like a game I could play all day. But I'm so excited to see the new characters. This guy looks like Bronn a little bit, if you ask me, from Game of Thrones. I'm really interested to know, just looking at his sword, if you compare that with this rapier over here, this one looks more like a thin, like fencing rapier. This one, if you look over there, looks more like perfect the way he's holding it. Looks more like a, like I said, more like a military rapier, something that's designed to take some shocks. So I don't know if that's going to affect his style. He's got his hand on his hip there. That kind of shows to me he's more... Okay, fine. I'll do one more with rapier, just to illustrate the difference here. So if you look, Marie has a pretty standard rapier stance, dueling stance, and I've noticed, I really don't have the vocabulary for a lot of this. I need to get better at it, but she tends to do this crouching. Ooh, that was terrible. This crouching, not crouching tiger, crouching energy stance, kinetic build-up stance. So she's good at springing forward with thrusts. It looks like what the other guy, the Bronn dude, is got going is he might be a more... again, I don't have the correct vocabulary for this, even though I really wish I did. He looks... Come on. Like he might be a more... putting the point towards the enemy first, not being mostly about offering a slim target. And I also believe, by the way, that they're planning on differentiating even like the two seemingly similar saber users. I think they're planning to differentiate styles and personal styles and different manuals and stuff a little bit more. So I'm imagining that the two rapier users aren't going to be exactly the same, but I think he might have more of like a sideways stance so that he's offering a slimmer target. And he might be more focused on horizontality. What am I trying to say? Moving in and out of the combat, the 8-way run direction type system. Because if he is doing a more slimline presentation with his blade, hold on. Come on. Then come on. There we go. Then look at this corpse getting in the way. Then he might be better at moving sort of in a circle around them. I'm hoping he'll do some more like maybe flourishy but still historical moves that I've seen in various fencing manuals for rapier and short sword. Or again, forgetting the name right now. There's a type of sword that is looked like a rapier, but it's not quite. It's more flat bladed and everything. Honestly, rapier is fun just for that. That's like, there's nothing more rewarding than just going, hey, poke right away. Come on. I also particularly like this arena. If you can manage to get around their side, it's a very short arena. Well, now we're not there, but let's see. Ooh, that's it. I'm done. Okay. That's it for now. Like I said, I pushed it this far doing rapier over and over just to demonstrate. But anyway, this is a game to keep your eye on. If it's not obvious, I definitely recommend this game. It's only like $14 or something on sale today. I think it's like 15 or maybe even 20 eventually. Normal price. So it's a pretty low investment. It's pretty easy to get into if you like fighting games of any kind. If you're into HEMA, if you like actual real life historical martial arts like this, getting in now while it's in early access on like the ground floor, I think it can only be a good idea to go from here. There is no real story yet. I played a little bit of that clip at the beginning. That's all there is for story mode. Pretty much everything's going to be the fight mode. Online does not work, as I said, by default, but you can do like a bit of a workaround. The tutorial is just a short, real quick, is mostly just kind of going to run you through like a bit of a slideshow, but with GIFs, and I find that pretty helpful. Eventually they're going to have more support for learning the game, but yeah, even just now as an early access game, like, man, this is so cool. I can't, like, I'm huge props to the developers here. I think it's Kobold or something along those lines, but it's so cool. Like, even there, you can see in the bottom right, this is pre-alpha, and this game is like more smooth than some less complicated games I've seen. More Time Who with this game is how it makes me feel. Like, More Time was cool, but like the spamminess, the overly arcadeness of it got to me after a time. Chivalry 2 is coming out soon. I haven't been able to get into that beta. But this game, in my opinion, goes right up there with all those first-person games. There is actually a first-person dev mode. I haven't tried it yet, but the potential here is immense, you guys. I so much recommend this if you're into HEMA in any way, especially if you're interested, but you just want to kind of gain some familiarity just with like the basic ideas. This is not going to teach you the correct vocabulary or anything, but it's going to get you in the mindset to recognize how real sword fights look. Anyway, I will do sort of follow up on once I get this posted and everything. But yeah, this is a good one, guys. All right, so that is it, and thank you for watching. And thank you. This is the first video on my new gaming channel. Pretty much games of all kinds you can find on here. So if you're interested in that, please stick around with a subscribe, leave a comment, leave a like, anything like that. Just lets me know there's someone out there on the other side of the tube listening, and that is always highly encouraging. So thank you so much. And again, this has been Hellish Quart, and it's great.